What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy Porter Rock 77 coming back with a video. This is a little live stream, but I didn't put out a tweet. This is probably an easier way to get the info out on the topic I want to talk about. But anyway, thanks for showing up. I appreciate, if you're watching this recorded, I appreciate you stopping by and stuff. Channel, subscribe, check out the content. I hope you enjoy it and stuff. And I hope you be a subscriber and support my channel and support great content. Every Wednesday, I do a podcast, 60 frames, no lag, 7 p.m. Eastern. Have a great crew, have a great panel. Got Titanfall Princess, All Day Theory, Dark Animus, and I try to have a couple of guests from various, preferences and stuff. But we talk about gaming, and it's all about, expressing opinions and stuff. Some good, some bad. I know some people don't like the opinions of what other people heard. It's not a perfect podcast. It's not meant to be 100%. Well, I'm not going to say 100% accurate. It's for anybody to voice their opinion on stuff. Right? It's not exact science. I wouldn't say my podcast is a news podcast. It's just conversation between gamers. We're not all know-it-alls and stuff. Some people get things wrong, some things get things right. But as long as it's entertaining, we can have the conversation, right? But on to my video. So you read the title. Salty about PS4 sales. And let me screen share something with you. All right, let me set this up real quick. I'm going to screen share something. Okay? Go to the web browser. And as you can see here, PS4 tops January 2017 US sales. It says, but Xbox One was the only console to grow year over year in terms of January sales. So Microsoft, obviously, the Xbox once again. That's 3 months in a row. Jillion sales since the start of the gen. Made a statement saying, in its own statement, Microsoft said 2017 is off to a strong start for the Xbox One, as the number of hours players spent playing games on the console. I mean, I would think more hours are spent playing games, considering they sold more consoles, which means more players on it, which means you get more hours. Additionally, Xbox One sales grew year over year in January, according to Microsoft. PS sales did not grow year over year for January. Say that at first, you may think like it sounds like a good point. Pretend you got two runners on a track, and one runner says that they ran the track faster. So then what's the point? Cool for Xbox for in their own space, for Xbox One selling more games, as far as the company goes and as far as the product goes. Bring up PS4 when in the end it still outsold you. So PS4 sales didn't grow, still sold more. That should tell you something. But anyway, but the main thing is this. You got fanboys now saying that the consumers who chose to buy a PlayStation over an Xbox chose wrong. That's pretty interesting, and they're acting all surprised. That's really what's crazy. It just amazes me how they could think like this, as if we don't know what's going on in the world right now. As if we don't realize. Are they oblivious? Are they purposely being obtuse to what's going on? You started off the year. Let's start off this way. You started off the year canceling a major game, which everybody was paying attention to. It was the fourth most trending tweet. Yo, Ironwolf, what's good, man? Thanks for showing up. I didn't tweet this out because I didn't want to bother nobody at this time. But for anybody who's paying attention, I appreciate it. But going back. You kick off the year canceling a major game, which was the fourth most trending tweet, Scalebound being canceled. So it's obvious had a lot of high vis, especially in a genre that that you don't even have an exclusive. Let's not even talk about JRPG. Let's just talk about RPGs. Period. Just in general sense, whether it's Western or Japanese RPGs, you don't have any exclusive. So your console is deficient on that just by itself. Right? I know you guys like to use Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon. I'm sorry, those are 360 games. You're not going to take credit for what 360's done. Those are 360 games. It belongs on that platform. Yes, you can play as backwards compatible, but don't give Xbox One credit for those RPGs. Those shits were 2001. 2007 and 2006. What's up, Craig Harris? All right. So you kick off the year, canceling the game, right? You didn't plan to have any exclusives for the next, you have one, which is RTS, which is not a popular genre on consoles anyway. You're just using the name Halo. Let's just call it what it is. Let's call it what it is, all right? If that RTS game was named anything else, no one would give a shit. You're milking the Halo name. That's all you're really doing, right? If it wasn't for Halo, no one would care about that RTS on console. That's more of a PC-centric genre. All right? But let's move on. The game's gone gold and doesn't even support HDR, despite the fact that the console you've been selling since August is supposed to play HDR games, but you're not pushing the HDR effort. Let's go with that. Your exclusive, there's nothing over the next couple of months. Nothing really. You're going to have Halo Wars, but nothing in January. No, we had nothing in January. One game in February. Nothing in March. Nothing in April. Nothing in May. And nothing in June. Absolutely nothing. All right? And I'm not even talking about big AAAs because let me put it this way. We're not even asking for big AAAs, Even AA games are good, AA games is good. There's nothing wrong with playing AA games. Since when has AA games been bad? There's a lot of games throughout console history, that started out as AA games and they ended up AAA because they were successful. They were, surprise hits. Look at Demon Souls for PS4. So some of you Xbox dudes, some of you dudes are so deficient in knowledge that any game that like Neo or Bloodborne, be like, oh, that's a Dark Souls clone. Bro, people, this shit all started with Demon Souls. Dark Souls wasn't the originator. It was Demon Souls, a PS4 exclusive. And it started out as a you could say niche or a game that people didn't realize was great. And it started out something that was under the radar and it became a big hit, which led to the Dark Souls franchise, which is a AAA franchise. You see what I'm saying? So AA games is good. It's just games. It's options. All right? Let's say even if exclusive, because I know the big narrative now is, all these games, AA's, whatever, aren't selling on PlayStation. All right. But even if we're talking AAAs, let me show y'all something. All right. And I'm going to screen share something again with y'all guys. All right. Let me screen something again. Give me a second. Okay. So I'm screen sharing again. So even if the Xbox community want to talk about only AAA multi-platform matter, which is funny how they want to start that now. It's funny how they want to bring that point up. Y'all weren't talking about that in November or October when Gears of War came out. Now you got YouTubers, Xbox Pro channels saying this is not even the season to buy games. Like, are you fucking kidding me? There's no such thing as a season to buy games. You buy games all year round. You know what I'm saying? All year round. You got Xbox YouTube. I think it's 100. It's his name. He has a video about Xbox got no games. And I get, some Sony fans are exaggerating. On his channel that this is not even a season to buy games. Like, are you kidding me? And now he's talking about he's playing Madden in Division. Where was this logic in October when you had Gears of War and Forza come out? Station saying that we had no games. But even then, you want to talk about multiplats, right? Big multiplats. You guys ain't buying them shits either. Let me show you this in the UK. 79% of Final Fantasy sales were on PS4, 21% on Xbox. The fuck are y'all doing? In UK, is a kind of like a good representation of what happens in the U.S. You know, because we both have pretty much similar takes, so it's pretty close. You know, so this gives you a feeler of how things are. So this is probably a similar ratio in the U.S. as well. You know what I'm saying? But of course, I can already tell you, after some Xbox dude sees my video, they're gonna damage control, saying, "Oh, it's because it's a JRPG and we don't care about that." Okay, but what about this? Huh? Resident Evil, dethrones GTA. You see what I'm saying? Look at this. 73% of copies on PS4. Somebody holler at me. What's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Oh shit! I think Ironwolf is gonna send a link. Let me hook this up. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be a late night. This is gonna be a late night matchup. Give me a second. Hold on, Wolf. Let me stop sharing real quick so I could get this popping. Right? So I could get this popping. Let me get this popping. Hold on. Hold on. Oh shit! Let me find out. Saying so he should be in here in a few minutes. All right. All right. Let me send. Let me. He should be in here in a few minutes. Okay. Let me go back to my screen sharing real quick. And I'm gonna go back to. Here you go. Resident Evil 7. 73% of copies on PS4. This isn't a JRPG. It's a horror game. It's a popular franchise. You know what I'm saying? See it right here. I'm not bugging out. 73% on PS4. January 30th. This was only a couple of days ago. Like, wow. You know? What today is the 10th? So like 11 days ago? Am I bugging out? And then these dudes think Street Fighter 5, you know, would have sold if it would have came out on Xbox? You serious? You guys don't even at this point. You guys don't support your new IPs. You talk shit about your new IPs, but you really don't support it, right? The only thing you guys play is Halo, Gears, and Forza, right? You want to clown a game like Neo, saying, "Oh, it's a Dark Souls clone," but you have no problem playing another Forza. This is like your third motorsport Forza, which is the same exact shit as the last two. And then next year you're gonna play another Forza Horizon. You see what I'm saying? Oh shit, Ironwolf is here, my man.
Yo, what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
What's going on? Oh, I can hear you, brother. You can hear me? You good?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Just testing out because I just got the iPhone 7, so I just
Yeah.
want to test out the mic.
Nice. That's actually sounds pretty good.
Do I sound good?
Yeah, it sounds pretty good, bro. It sounds really good. It sounds. I didn't even think you were on a phone.
Oh, for real? Oh, damn, man. Oh, that's what's
That's
up.
yeah. That's the new. Yeah, you know the new iPhones. They start getting better mics and shit like that. Because a lot of people started doing podcasts on their phones and shit like that.
All right, okay.
Yeah, there's even like an app like that YouTube has that you can record directly and make, upload videos and shit like that.
Yeah, no. I just caught the link. Basically, like I saw the link of your podcast. So I was thinking, what's going on here? And then basically you were talking about how
Yeah,
the Xbox fans are, and
yeah,
it don't just stop there, man. It's just certain things about Microsoft, man. People just I don't know, give them a pass on so many things, and they get way too much credit for like you were saying. The Xbox One gets way too much credit over 360 games, and that's the bit I don't get. And another thing, they always bring up that whole first party argument that all these exclusive games on the PS4 they're not by Sony's first party or whatever. We're talking about some of those Japanese games or whatever. But I could give you a whole list of games that are made by Sony's first party, like their studios, going from Knack to Killzone to Infamous to Drive Club. The list goes on and on and on. It's just so crazy. And when it comes down to Microsoft's first party, the only games Microsoft's in-house studios have actually developed is just because games like Rise, Dead Rising, even Killer Instinct is done by third party. It's done by Iron Galaxy. Timefall is done by third party. That was an EA game by Respawn.
Yeah.
Sunset Overdrive. All those games are second and third party. I would just call them third party studios just for the hell of it. But my point being is that the only games that they've only developed with their in-house studio was Forza 5, Forza 6, Halo 5, Gears 4, and Max Curse of the Brotherhood. That's it. By Press Play. Those are the only games they've made with their in-house studio.
And let me say something on that. Even with those games, there's only one studio that's actually making their first party games that they actually created, and that's Turn 10 with Forza. 343 is creating sloppy seconds from Bungie, sloppy seconds from
Of
Epic,
Epic.
Gears of War. You understand what I'm saying? I can't. The only other studio that's actually creating original IPs is Rare, and that company turned dog shit. There's no creativity in their first party right now. There's nothing that they're genuinely saying this studio is creating its own idea to the public. You understand?
Yeah, but
You know
you
what I
see,
mean?
you see Phil Spencer talk about, we're all about first party, first party. We're focusing on first party, but you're closing down your first party studios. And Halo Wars 2 is not done by a first party studio. It's done by Creative Assembly, and that's owned by Sega. That's the bit I don't get, and it's mind blowing. So the only first party game that they have coming is Sea of Thieves. That's the only
Yep.
one. Because Crackdown 3, that's not done by a first party studio. There's like two developers behind this game. One's an indie dev and one is Sumo Digital. You know what I'm saying? So, and CloudGen, which I don't know nothing about, and that's not even a first party studio.
Yeah.
So
And
I don't know what's going on with them right now, but it's not looking good, man. It's not looking good.
and so back to the point of this video that I'm trying to do is they're creating videos saying that consumers are dumb and they don't understand why PS4 is outselling. I'm like, bro, because PS4 is just simply a gaming console. You know what I'm saying? The message was right from the start. It took a while for Sony, to speed things up, but ultimately you could see Sony always had the intentions of developing relationships with third party, Europe, here in North America, their own internal studios is ultimately to bring lots of games. Microsoft, I don't know what they've been doing, but you could tell the people are reacting to that. Off
Well,
the
here,
year
here's the
canceling.
thing. Here's the thing, Portal
Yeah,
Rock, right? PlayStation have always developed, close relationships with party developers, many publishers out there since the PS1. They always had developers on board since the PS1. They even took like Square Enix, Namco Bandai. Back then it was just called Namco. Back then it was just called SquareSoft.
yeah,
So many of these developers like Konami, I could name so many. You know what I'm saying? But those are the ones I'm just gonna just mention for now because those were the main ones, right?
yeah.
They all jumped on board. PS2, same thing. PS3, they had a bit of a hiccup here and there, but they got there towards the end. And PS4, it's going back to where the PS2 left off
Yeah.
in terms of dominating from the jump. And at the end of the day, when you have these third parties on board, you're gonna get so much games. Games are gonna be there, and it's always gonna be guaranteed. And acting shocked and surprised. And as far as people saying that people are dumb for buying a PS4, just because they have more games. That's just absolutely ludicrous, man. I don't know what to say about that.
It's insane because they're pushing this narrative saying, oh, because like games like Yakuza, they apparently if the game don't sell 5-6 million, apparently it's not important in their eyes. So or if the game's not a big budget AAA, it's not important. But here's my thing: what's the alternative? Because they're not pushing anything. It's not like Xbox One has a AAA every single month. They got nothing. You know, um, with the PlayStation right now, we got a choice. If you don't like Yakuza, fine, that's cool. Don't buy it. But it's better than looking on a shelf in January and there's nothing there. You know what I mean? We have multiple choices for multiple genres that you can enjoy. Somebody's gonna like something. There's always something for everybody, and that's pretty much what PlayStation is doing. They're pushing out something for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It might not be one other gamer's cup of tea, but it's gonna be another gamer's. You understand what I'm saying? Let the gamers choose what they want to play. Right now, there's no choice right now. You're pretty much playing the multiplat. And like I showed before, even with the multiplats, and I'm a screen share so you can
Playing
see.
free games. I had
Yeah.
exclusive hands-on.
No, yeah, but like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
stopped.
but wait, hold on. So like, even with the multiplats, like Resident Evil, 73% of Resident Evil was sold on PS4. So even the multiplats they're not buying.
Well, yeah.
So not even that. So like, what are they doing on that one? They're talking about multiplats is what sells the most. Not on Xbox. It's pretty much all PlayStation at this point. So what are they even buying on that one? Is it backwards compatible? Because there's an article that just came out saying that Grand Theft Auto 4, which is now BC, it went up 8,000% in sales. Is this what they really want? Or do they really want the three? Is the Xbox One that bad that they just want to go back to the Xbox 360? Like, I don't understand this shit. Sometimes
Well,
I think,
that's
sometimes I think the only reason why Xbox is selling more now is because of the Blu-ray player. I honestly think that's the main reason people are buying it for, so they can mostly watch this movies at a cheap price, 4K movies, and not really so much gaming because gaming sales should be going up with all these sales, but it's getting worse.
well, yeah. As far as those sales go with the whole Xbox 360 games, we all know the reason behind that. Because they don't really have enough Xbox One games. They're not getting regular games like regular releases. And I see people try to downplay The Last Guardian, trying to say it flopped or whatever. Look, last time I checked, it's over 900,000 copies. If you include digital, that's over 1 million sold right there. It sold more than Dead Rising. And Dead Rising is supposed to be this big AAA game by Capcom. You know what I'm saying? The same Japanese developers that those guys want to make fun of day in and day out. And they didn't even support that. That says a lot about fan base. Says a hell of a lot.
I made a video 2 days ago, talking about that, and I think you commented it, how Xbox canceled an RPG that was going to be a launch title from the developers of Knights of the Old Republic, Obsidian. Great RPG that was created, Knights of the Old Republic 2. And they were going to make an exclusive RPG AAA for Xbox One, but Xbox canceled it. But instead, they released shit like Scream Ride and shit. Like, what the fuck is going on? And the Xbox community is wondering why people are jumping shit. There's a lot of Xbox, like on my page, in the comment section, there's a lot of Xbox fans, people who said they've been down with Xboxes, they weren't like yourself, and they jumped ship because they got tired of the bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
See, I
Little
jump ship
dumb shit
even
like
before.
EA. They don't care about
See, I
that.
was gonna
They
say.
want games.
See, here's the thing, Porter. Right? If you could hear me,
Yeah, I can hear you.
I jumped ship even before like Scalebound was officially cancelled. But I knew what was going on before all that happened anyway. But cancellations of games is nothing new when it comes down to Microsoft and the Xbox. There was a game by Miss Walker, the guys who made Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey. It was called Cryon. It was a JRPG. It looked really
I remember
promising. Yeah, and I think Sakaguchi-san he actually released a trailer for that game of this cancelled game. and it looked really good, man. But this is a game that was meant to be an Xbox 360 exclusive. Might have been an Xbox One game, who knows? But they canceled this game. And there was another game even before that called BC, made by Lionhead. They canceled that too. And that would have been the Ark Survival Evolve for back in the day. And then
No,
they had a level 5 exclusive called True Fantasy Live. They canceled that game. And since then, they never had a level 5 game. There's never been a level 5 game on the Xbox.
that's insane.
So that's saying a lot. Obviously, these Japanese developers, they were pretty, pissed off about it. I could only imagine how Platinum Games are thinking right now with the whole Scalebound situation.
You know, and
Oh,
these fanboys are trying to make it seem like, oh, Japanese developers, hate Xbox or whatever. I'm like, bro, it's just funny how these guys claim to be, it's did these guys not own your OG Xbox? That shit was called the successor of the Dreamcast or the Dreamcast 2. It was called that for a reason. And Dreamcast is a Japanese console. It had so much Japanese games on it. It was ridiculous. Even the 360 for the first 3 years had more Japanese games than the PS3. They were calling the PS3 the do bro Western console. You know what I'm saying? I like, do these guys not know? Did they just start gaming on Xbox One? I'm starting to think a lot of these dudes started gaming this gen on the Xbox One and have no idea about the 360. And that's probably why they like the 360. Is because they're playing these games for the first time and they truly see what an amazing console with an amazing game is. That 50, Phil Spencer said that 50% of the Xbox One fan base is playing 360 games, backwards compatible games. I would imagine those 50% never owned the 360, and now they're seeing what a true great console is. You know what I'm saying? That could be my only guess. That most of these dudes never owned these past consoles.
either that, or like I said before, they probably just don't have no games to play, so they're just going back to play 360 games.
It's just,
That could be the case.
But what's bananas is they think that consumers are wrong for playing PS4. Never mind the fact that there's more games than what people have time or money to play. You don't hear about us canceling games. Majority of the new IPs that are going to come out over the next 2 years are all from PlayStation 4. Death Stranding, Days Gone, whatchamacallit, the new Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? That's all new shit from PlayStation, Detroit.
New IP,
That's all.
man. Hellblade. That's
Yeah,
also a new IP.
Hellblade. Those are new IPs coming on the PlayStation.
And we
not
also
on
had
Xbox.
Neo just the other day.
Yeah,
That's a
and
new
Neo,
IP.
and Neo, and Horizon's coming out in 2 weeks. This month produced more exclusive RPGs than the entire life cycle of Xbox One.
Wow.
Think about that.
That's
This
mind blowing,
month,
man.
2 new exclusive RPGs in just this month, as compared to Xbox One, which launched in November 2013. They don't even have one yet. Not one.
Yeah, they don't have
An RPG.
not one exclusive.
It doesn't even have to be. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be JRPG. Just RPG in general. Call it whether it's from Europe, North America, Japan, Zimbabwe, Madagascar, Jamaica. Just take a globe, put your finger on it, and stop it. They don't have it, and they wonder why the PlayStation's outselling it. And they're like, "Oh, but we gotta."
And I tried to say this, and I try to speak to like in the past over this. I go, look, man, let that sink in, man. They don't have one exclusive JRPG, and they even canceled Scalebound, but that time Scalebound won't even cancel. So I just said, look, we don't have one, and they were just damage control, and they said, oh, we're gonna get the best one ever made, which is Scalebound. Now that got canceled. So what do you have?
They canceled
and what
Fable.
are Microsoft gonna bring to E3?
Because what
they said, right? I'm excited for our lineup. We're gonna launch a new IP, and we all know that new IP is Sea of Thieves. He never said new IPs. You know what I'm saying? He said IP, and that's only the one game.
Look at this. Even when it comes to small developed indies, where's Cuphead? David Jaffe just announced Drawn to Depth's coming out in April. Where's Cuphead at? You cannot tell me that's gonna take 2 years to develop. It's just a fucking indie.
There's one other game that they mentioned, and I think they announced this game when they unveiled the Xbox. It was called Below, which it reminded me of Zelda a little bit, like old school Zelda with the top down view. And yeah, like I don't hear nothing about Below. Like what's going on with Below? Like people are not really calling Microsoft out for
Mhm.
some of these games. Like, look, they announced Crackdown 3 back in 2014. We still ain't seen gameplay. Nothing. No screenshots, nothing.
Okay, I agree. Did
And
they
then you
hype in?
wonder why. You wonder why the PS4 is outselling the Xbox month after month after month.
And they're hyping like with going back to Crackdown. They're hyping the cloud, which in concept sounds great. But if the cloud was all that in a bag of chips, why are they limiting it to just one game? Why is it just Crackdown that's going to be after 3 years or more to represent the cloud? Why don't they just implement it? Just go hard on it. Put it in Halo Wars 2. Put it in Sea of Thieves. Put it in every first party IP. If you're going to rep the cloud, do it right. Put it in everything. Show how every game could benefit from the extra power and horsepower. That's why I'll be honest. I don't have faith in the cloud simply because they're only tying it to one game. If they really have faith in this, put it in everything. I can understand maybe not third party because they have to ultimately make the decide.
Yo,
But in
Polaroid.
your first party, put it in everything, in all your games,
Yo,
in
Polaroid,
every
you're gonna
first party
laugh at
game.
this, man. You're gonna laugh at this. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I do apologize. But yeah, I had an Xbox fanboy. He just tweeted something out to me. He said that at E3, Microsoft are gonna announce, hey, no, not Halo, Destiny 2 as an Xbox exclusive. And I was
Oh
thinking,
my
what
God,
the fuck are you
just,
talking
just
about, dude, man?
this is where it gets stupid. Listen, you guys couldn't even get the fucking extra content. That shit remained for on PS4 for 2 years exclusive. Majority of the fans are on PS4. You think Activision's gonna cut out the majority of the fans? Like you guys are bugging.
Yeah, that would
Like
be like
just
60 plus million. They're gonna cut
yo,
out.
just
They're not
stop.
gonna do
Just
that, man.
I would believe Activision will keep it exclusive to PS4 before Xbox One. Especially you guys didn't even buy multiplats. I just showed you guys that's what is this? What I said, 73%. Let me click on the article. 73% of Resident Evil 7 were PS4 copies. 73%. Pretty much it's fucking PlayStation 4 holding down the industry at this point. EA released financials. Check this out. The majority of Madden were sold on PS4, despite the fact that Microsoft had the marketing rights and those games were bundled with the console. That shit's bananas.
Look, look. At
And,
the
and,
end of
and
the
you
day,
guys,
it all goes down to look. The reason why the Xbox One is, or the Xbox One in general, is not selling like as well as the PS4. There's many different factors to it, man. Games is being one, and the fact that whatever games they do have, it could be played on other platforms.
yes,
So there's not I'm buying Xbox One. And another thing, now when it comes down, I think we had this conversation on the Greatness podcast, but when it comes down to it, it's Nintendo and Sony to gaming relevant.
yeah,
They're holding it down because when it comes down to it, PC gamers, when it comes down, if they want to play a certain game on the Xbox, they don't have to buy an Xbox. But if they want to
they
play
could play.
Horizon Zero Dawn or Zelda Breath of the Wild, they're gonna go out. They're gonna have to go out and buy those consoles to get that experience.
Let me say this: if let's say somehow the Switch takes off, and somehow Nintendo gets his act together and pumps out games, get some type of third party support. Maybe not the same party support that the PS4 and Xbox One get, but if developers are willing to make its own games, which would technically be exclusives for the Switch, it's going to be the Xbox that's in trouble. Because I don't see people be like, "Oh, I'm gonna get an Xbox and a Switch." There's nothing on the Xbox that's holding it down.
The truth of the matter is, Paul Rock, is that look, Sony are not even competing with the Xbox. Them leaps and bounds ahead of them. You know what I mean? If anything, Xbox they shouldn't worry about Sony right now because that's over. That
Yeah,
war's done.
yeah. This war is
Just
done. I
worry
said
about
that
Nintendo
before.
right now.
Yeah, I said that before. This is over. There's no coming back from this. The only thing, Xbox fanboys, they gotta wait till next gen to start this shit over when the new consoles come out. Because this is a wrap. There's nothing. There's nothing. Scorpio's not gonna do shit. The most Scorpio's gonna do is just give you bragging rights about superior multiplats. That's about it. That's all it's gonna do. For those who buy it, you could get to talk about, best version multiplats. But as we're looking, you guys ain't even buying those either. So,
To
so
me, look, the party's already began right now, and the Scorpio to me is like the too little, too late console.
exactly,
It really is, bro.
exactly.
The party just started, man.
Yeah, it's
Just a few months ago.
too little, too
Now,
late.
like for the Xbox, for Microsoft to jump in a year later, I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah,
If anything, I believe Microsoft should have that Xbox One S that they released. That should have been like the Pro.
yeah,
They should have had at least 4 teraflops in that console
yeah,
instead of waiting a whole year just to have 2 more teraflops.
yeah.
It just makes no sense, man.
Yeah, like with the new Scorpio, like I said, I wasn't ever big on resolution, all that shit. I never pushed that or whatever. But when people say, "Oh, Scorpio's going to be more powerful than the Pro," well, I'm like, well, that should be a no-brainer because it is coming out a year later, and chances are it's going to be $500. So you don't get a blue ribbon for releasing a console a year later at a more expensive price. It needs to be more expensive. It's a year older, but the question is, you're already talking about 4 years into the generation. These consoles came out in 2013. Scorpio's coming out in 2017, 4 years later, and it's not going to have its own exclusives. It's going to share games with the Xbox One and the PC. And the games it's sharing, most people ain't going to care. Like, is Crackdown 3 or Sea of Thieves really going to sell a $500 console? There?
Now,
I'm not.
people are not gonna buy a Scorpio for Cuphead. I tell you that for a fact. They're not gonna do that. And,
It's
and
just,
another thing though, man, with the whole Xbox Scorpio, man, I just don't see even multiplats looking that much better than the Pro. I just don't. I just cannot really see there being a huge difference, like a huge gap. I don't think it's gonna be a giant leap the way people are making it out to be. It's not.
it might. I don't know. I really don't know. But here's
I
my.
really doubt it, man. I really doubt it because developers they're making a lot of these games, including like Assassin's Creed Empire. They're
Yeah.
making that with PS4 in mind, because
Yeah.
those dev kits for the PS4 Pro were handed over to Ubisoft and many of these other developers, well ahead of time. So I think Sony were basically thinking ahead, even before Microsoft came up with this whole concept of the Scorpio. You see
So
where I'm going
Sony's.
with this?
I see what you're saying. Sony's using a strategy that's tried and true. And it seems like Microsoft forgot what made it. Um, because no console has been able to surpass a PlayStation console when they come out a year after the PlayStation. Because at that point, Sony has the game advantage and the price advantage. And that's a powerful combination. Because in the end, that's really what console gamers want. They want an affordable console where they can play a lot of games. We're not PC, master race dudes. We don't count ones and zeros and teraflops. At the end of the day, most of the best consoles of the gen have been cheaper. Look at 360. It launched at $400 while the PS3 launched at $600. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The cheaper price consoles always win because that's what console gamers want. We brag about being console gamers because of its affordability and ease of use. But now the Xbox want to talk about Ryzen CPU and Vega GPU and all this shit. When they sound like PC gamers, but they're not gaming on PC though. You know what I'm saying? That's not what console gamers want. Come November, if the Pro is $300 and the Slim is $199, that shit's gonna sell the most. Because all these games that PlayStation came out, the Horizon, the Neo, what I'm saying, Yakuza, and then the games that's coming out in the next couple of months, Hellblade, Nier, Detroit. People who buy PlayStation for the first time in November, those games are new to them. See, that was the thing these Xbox fanboys didn't expect in November. They were like, oh, you guys got nothing in November. We're going to win NPD because you got no games. They didn't realize when people buy a brand new console, the games that came out already are new to them. Uncharted killed the shit out of all their exclusives. Even though it came out back in May, it destroyed Gears of War. That
Combined,
bundle that Sony
everything
released,
combined.
yeah, that bundle Sony released, Uncharted and Slim, flew off the fucking shelf. Why? Because when people were buying PS4s for the first time, Uncharted was a new game for them. It doesn't matter if it came out in May. It's new to them. And that was a killer app that they
Yeah,
wanted over Gears of War, especially over Recore. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That was the killer app.
Well,
That Uncharted killed it off the
yo,
shelf.
Puerto Rock here in the UK. I got a friend that works at retail, and he was telling me that there was a big fire sale with the Xbox One S. Like you get a 500 gig Xbox One S with Battlefield 1, Gears of War 4, Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare, and they give you two 4K Blu-ray movies. They give you a headset, an extra controller, and a whole year of Xbox Live Gold. And
Please.
people still they still didn't go out and buy it.
Here, like in Walmart, they had a deal for $500. You got an Xbox One S and a 48-inch 4K TV with HDR, both for $500 together. Yo, they were giving away Xbox One S so much. I'm surprised I don't have one just by simply walking by a store. They were giving them some Best Buy were giving them away for free. Like you buy a TV, like certain models of 4K TVs, you get a free Xbox One S. Like here you go, just take it. It's
Well, they
yours.
also made a deal in
Just,
with a cable company in China, right? Like if you subscribe to their cable network, they give you a they give you a free Xbox One. I guess that's not really working out for them either.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe China's going into PC route. I see a lot of traction on PC over there,
No, but
but it's just
apparently
crazy though.
PS4 are also ahead in China as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
And the
it
Xbox One
dominates
came out
console. Yeah,
before. That was the
yeah.
first console that came out in China before the PS4. So that's saying a lot.
Yeah, that's
Even the Chinese, they're pretty smart. They know where the games are at. That's just the
it's
way it
just no
is.
doubt. It's just crazy how the Xbox fanboys don't see this. They're like, oh, we don't understand why, bro. What are you? And I asked this question 100 times, and they keep avoiding it. Sure, you have opinions on our games. You have opinions on Yakuza. You have opinions on Tales of Berseria. You have opinions on Neo. You have opinions on Gravity Rush 2. Fine. You don't like our games. But on the platform you do like, which is Xbox, show me what exclusive you're buying this month. Don't worry about our games. Worry about what's on your platform. Tell me, what are you going to buy? Oh, I have a backlog. Oh, yeah. How convenient. Now we have backlogs. Now.
Here's the crazy
You
thing.
know what I'm
Like,
saying? They won't answer that question because they know the fact is they got nothing to buy. And that's the point I'm trying to say.
or they have nothing
You
to
know?
buy and they have nothing to talk about because every time I go through an Xbox channel, let's just say I'm looking at a playlist of their videos, of their content. 99% of the content that they make is about PlayStation. You know it.
Yeah.
I know it. The people in the chat also know it. There's supposed to be Xbox channels. Now I hear, all these Xbox, podcasts that's like, you see one every day, right?
Yeah.
The majority of these talk shows, they just talk about PlayStation.
That or Scorpio. Something that won't be on for another 10 months. I'm like, oh, aren't they sick of starting the year talking about what they're gonna do in 10 months? Like, is that really why you bought the console for? Like, seriously. You have to wait 10 months to play games. That shit's bananas. That shit's crazy.
And that's
It's
the
just
thing, like Microsoft just don't have that first party muscle, man. They got rid of half of more than half of the freaking studios that they have. They shut down some of the services like, Project Spark and many other things. Like, I think they had the Connect Fitness, Xbox Fitness. They closed that down. Not that it was a big deal, but they're closing things down, man.
I'm just yeah.
Along with the studios, along with the cancellation of games. And I don't know what to say, man. I think, I think I mentioned this as well on the Greatness podcast that, this is a similar kind of pattern to what Sega went through. Just during the Sega Saturn era, man, their games were going to PC, and I guess they were preparing. Although they had the Dreamcast as the last console, it could be possible that the Scorpio could be their last console before they go full PC.
Here's one thing.
A PC could be their escape route. You never know, man.
Um, and I mean, this may be a little bit of a reach, or whatever, but I seen a similar move that Microsoft did a long time ago. And you remember the Zoom Media Player?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be the competitor against the iPod. So I bought the Zoom because I actually did like the Zoom better than the iPod because the iPod only used one type of media format, while the Zoom played every single media format, so it was easier to get music on it and all that shit without converting, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then a little while, they created the Zoom HD, but then they created the Zoom Marketplace, right? And when they had the Zoom Marketplace, you were able to play it on any device. You were able to play on PC, on tablets, and all that stuff. It's kind of like what they're doing now with the Play Anywhere. And then, like a little while later, they discontinued the Zoom, but they kept the Zoom Marketplace. And I'm like, what the fuck? And their logic was, well, we don't need to make the hardware. You just provide your own device. And Zoom is compatible on iPhone and Android. So now you can use the
Yeah.
Zoom anywhere, the Zoom Marketplace.
Well,
Anywhere.
Zune
And I'm
was
like,
called. I think Zune was also called Xbox Music, and then after
yeah,
that, they
then they
called it
changed it.
Groove.
Yeah. Yes, then they became Xbox Music. And now they call it Groove, which is on everything.
Yeah.
And they could easily do the same thing with Xbox. It'd be like, hey, we're going to start it out with hardware. And then eventually, you're going to phase out the hardware because now we could put our games on any other device. And you don't need it. We don't need to make the hardware for you to play our games. We're just going to make the games and you could use a PC or a laptop and just play it there.
It just turned into a service.
Say service, yes. Just like Groove Music. They started out with the Zoom, but they realized the money and hardware. Because you got to look at this. This is the one thing is a good thing about people reminding me. Microsoft made its billions, right? When we think of Microsoft, we think of computers and all that. But the thing is, they don't sell computers. They don't sell hardware in the computer industry. They sell software. That's what their money is in. Their money has always been, the bulk of their money has been in software. Now, they let other people sell hardware. They let Dell Computer. They let IBM, Toshiba. Even Sony at one point. You
Yeah.
guys sell the hardware. We're going to use our Windows.
Well, since they're doing this whole Xbox Play Anywhere thing, and they want to go to that whole PC route, which is, it's all fine and dandy, but they got to realize one thing: 90% of the PC market, they all roll with Steam. So what makes no sense is that you want your software to sell.
Yeah.
Why are you going to limit the audience? Why not release it on Steam? All your exclusives, like the Halos, the Gears, the Forzas, whatever IP they have. I know Quantum Break is on Steam, but I think THQ published that, right?
Yeah.
But they should release everything on Steam. At least they'll make more money. Because those Steam users, man, they're not going to jump ship onto Windows. They're just not going to do that.
You know what I think?
Because they got their friends, they got their achievements, they have all that on Steam. And they've been on it for years.
You know what I think? I think, and this is just a guess, I think Microsoft is trying to get its Xbox gamers over to PC on their own Xbox marketplace. Now, hear me out. So, they're about to allow keyboard and mice on Xbox.
Yeah.
They're pushing for that. So now Xbox can have keyboard and mice. So in reality, the Xbox is about to be a PC. Because what's the difference? Because remember that a console and a PC is really the same thing. It's just the only difference is a console is a specific pre-built PC with its own specific OS. That's really what you call it. A console really is. It's a pre-built PC with its own specific OS. That's all. That's all there is. And and our first party behind it. But now imagine this. So Play Anywhere. You could play all these games on PC, right? But now you got all these Xbox gamers. They got introduced to keyboard and mice as well. You could play on controller. You could play on keyboard and mice, all these options. And you're playing on Xbox. Okay, da-da-da. Now, Microsoft phases out consoles. They'll be like, hey, we're no longer making an Xbox One or a new Xbox console. It's going to be an Xbox service. And you could play it on the PC you already own. You already have the games. You already have Xbox Live accounts. You have everything. You don't need to do anything. You don't even need to buy a new console. Just log on, and it's already there. And now they easily transition Xbox gamers from hardware over to PCs that they already own, and they're already used to playing keyboard and mice because they'll be doing it for a little while.
Yeah.
Right? And now Microsoft no longer has to spend money on R&D and QC and warranties. They completely eliminated themselves away from having to spend money on hardware, and now they put everything on their PC, and they drag their fan base that were once Xbox console gamers, but now they're PC gamers. Because you saw how easy these Xbox gamers accepted PC. Before we were hardcore Xbox, there were hardcore Xbox gamers that wanted exclusives and they didn't want it anywhere else. They were like, fuck PC, whatever. Now look at their mentality now. Oh yeah, play anywhere is a great idea.
Yeah, they're like Windows 10 fam and all that crap.
Yeah, win 10 fam. You see how easily they assimilated. Now the next step, hey, let's get these dudes used to keyboard and mice. We'll just put on Xbox. Hey, no, it's just options, guys. It's just options. We just want you, to have a choice. Okay, cool. So they're playing it. You're gonna hear the tweets. Oh man, this is so much better, so much smoother. Oh man, this is great. Oh, shooters are so much better with keyboard and mice. Haha, PS4 sucks. It doesn't allow you to play with keyboard and mice. Xbox does. Xbox the best box. And then later on in the future,
trying to do. They're trying to convert Xbox gamers into PC gamers.
That's what they're doing.
And remember, I told you this one time. I think we spoke about it again on the podcast we just did, right? That even Gears of War 4, nobody's playing that on PC, believe it or not. It's crazy. Like,
yes, they're putting both communities.
They go in the lobbies, they can't even find a game, not even a match. And the coalition, they had to make that shit cross-play.
Yeah.
They had to make it matches and stuff. Not just private, but even for regular player matches. Not ranked, but, just the regular matches. Just to get more people to play. It's just crazy. Because it's so dead on PC, they had to make it cross-play.
Mm-hmm.
And, it just goes to show, like, people are not buying it on PC. I just think it was a huge mistake. It was a big mistake. Sorry, my bad for coughing.
No problem.
But yeah, it was a huge mistake. Just going down that whole PC route. I really did.
But anyway, I want to cut this short, bro. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I wasn't expecting this, man. It's awesome.
Oh, no problem, man. Yeah, thanks for dropping the link, man.
Got you back on YouTube. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So bro. Anyway, hey, shut yourself out. Let everybody know who you are, man. Let them know the motherfucking facts.
Well, yeah, if you want to follow the facts, just follow me at Supersonic Wolf. Now, Wolf is spelled with a 0 at the end. At Twitter, follow me on YouTube. Subscribe. Be sure to check out Porter Rock's Frames No Lag podcast. Make sure you subscribe to him. It was great being here, man. Great having a conversation about this, man.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you joining and putting your perspective here, man. I really appreciate your knowledge and stuff like that, man. All right, brother. Well, anyway, everybody else, hey, thank you for stopping by. I wasn't expecting anybody to do a live view, but I really appreciate it and stuff. And that's it, man. We just had to talk. I just had to talk about this. I had to get something off my chest because it's ridiculous. But anyway, y'all people take care. You know that sound wherever you at. Good night. Enjoy these games and all that stuff, right? Y'all take care. Have a great weekend, everybody.